njogera Olufalansa n'Abaganda.
Yamo, français,
Neramo français.
French language in Uganda.
Hello, dear listeners. This is the third episode of our podcast, French Language in Uganda. This is Pauline Dinet speaking to you, head of courses of Alliance Française de Kampala. In the previous episode, we explained why and how to learn French, so we will discuss today which certifications of French are available and why should someone take them, and of course, how to succeed. For this, we have special guests today, Mr. Gerevazio and Mr. Robert. They will talk about their experience and motivations. But be rest assured, while today's guests are men, please note that 50% of candidates to those exams are women. So Alliance Française de Kampala is the only center in Uganda where you can take official certifications of French that are internationally recognized. So while you take the exam in Uganda, those are awarded by France. Those are French diplomas. For now, it can only be taken in Alliance Française, so in Kampala, but we're aiming in the coming years to open more centers so you can take those exams wherever you are. So, those certifications, what they have in common is that all of them assess the candidates on 4 categories, that is, speaking, listening, reading, and writing of French. So, firstly, we have 2 exams that are a bit similar, sort of. There's TEF and TCF. So, TEF is a test d'évaluation du français, so that would be French assessment test. And TCF would be test de connaissance du français, so a test of French knowledge, basically. Those have quite a specific purpose because they're usually taken by people who are in the process of migrating to Canada. It's requested by migration. So they're valid for 2 years. The TEF is awarded by the Chamber of Commerce and the TCF by France Education International. So this one, it takes place once a month and there's no passing or not passing. Basically, everyone takes the same exam and then you get a result according to your performance. It gives you one of the 6 levels of the Common European Framework for Languages. So the 6 levels are A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, and C2. So to give you an idea, A1 and A2 are beginner levels where you can have basic interactions and easily deal with familiar situations. B1 is where you start being able to deal with unforeseen situations or use French at work. B2 is the level where you can write a whole paper in French or partake in debate on any topic. And then C1, C2 is way more advanced. It's for teaching or translation purposes most of the time. So that was for TEF and TCF. As I said, it's very specific. So now, still following the same levels from A1 to C2, there's one that is taken by way more people. It's DELF or DALF. Because basically it's DELF between level A1 and B2 and DALF for C1 and C2. It stands for Diploma of Studying the French Language. That one, I insist on that. It's a diploma that is valid for life. It never expires, no matter what you do, and it's awarded by the French Ministry of Education. That's why many people take the DELF, not only in Uganda, but worldwide. There are 4 sessions a year for this one, and basically here it's different. It is a pass or not pass test. You need to take the DELF that corresponds to your level. There's DELF A1, DELF A2, etc. And then if you get 50%, you pass. And then also, for the young people, there are 2 sessions a year for DELF Prim, which is for people from 6 to 12 years old, and DELF Junior for people aged 13 to 18. Now, we're going to listen to stories of 2 people who took the DELF B2 recently, because as you will hear, it's not only a great way to acknowledge the progress you've made in French, it can also open many doors. We are welcoming Gerevazio. Gerevazio, thank you so much for coming. How are you today?
I'm fine, madam. How are you?
Good, thanks. So, Gerevazio, can you introduce yourself for the listeners?
Thank you. My name's Tinkamanyere Gerevazio. I am a Ugandan. I'm 37 years. I was born in Kabale. Kabale is found in southwestern Uganda. And I studied French for 2 years in Jinja, Gaddafi Barracks. I managed to pass all the DELFs from A1, A2, B1, and B2. Yeah, here I am.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And so you were learning French. Actually, we could be speaking French, but maybe not today for the listeners. So why and how did you learn French? How did this happen?
I chose to learn French because, first of all, I like the language. I like French language, me as a person. Another thing, French is a language that unites people. French is a language that is romantic. French is the language of discipline, because when you study French, you will realize that when you're talking, there is a way how you're supposed to talk, either to stay formal or informal. And we use formal when you are speaking to a person that is above you, someone whom you don't know. So you have to stay disciplined and giving respect to that person. And then when you're talking to someone who is familiar to you or friends, then you use the familiar way of talking to that person, which we call an informal way of talking. Mm-hmm. That is it.
Absolutely. Now, so that's why you like French in your personal life, let's say. Now, in your professional life, how is it related? Can you tell us a bit more about what is your occupation?
My occupation, I'm a police officer. I have a rank of a corporal, and that's the reason why I was sent by my institution, my employer, to go and study French. This French will help us to execute our missions. In case we get clients who are French-speaking people, then it will be not a problem because I'm there to help.
Mm-hmm. Of course. And so, since you passed every DELF up to B2 very recently, knowing French is one thing, but now having the diploma is another thing. So what exactly can change? What opportunities can arise for you now that you have the DELF B2?
Having the DELF B2 itself is a passport. It has added many things to me that are good. First of all, before studying French, I never dreamed of even having a passport. But as I talk now, I've got a passport because I'm ready to go either in Francophone or France itself. Now the world is open for me to go even in UN missions. A lot has been added to me. That DELF has given me an opportunity to prove to the entire world that I know French. It has beefed up my CV as an academic advantage. So a lot has been added to me, and I'm so thankful.
That is so great. Thank you so much. And would you say, because now you have DELF B2, but before that you had DELF B1 or A2, would you say that even DELF B1 opened doors for you like that? Or is it really DELF B2 that really is a strong advantage?
B2 has an added advantage than B1. Maybe B1, if you get B1, you can, it is possible for you maybe to move within African Francophone. But when you have B2, you can even cross to Europe. In the sense that if you have B2, you have got enough vocabularies, you have got almost what French takes. Even if someone in France has never gone to school, but when you have a B2, you are able to speak to that person. That's why for a B2, really, you are recommended to go to Europe. You have an added advantage. And it's a very good diploma. When we were graduating on our diploma for A2, we were about to sit for B1, but we met with people from Makerere University. They were telling us that after having passed our B2, we can go to Makerere and register for a master's, which means a B2 here, in actual sense, is equivalent to a degree here in Uganda. If we were to tantamount it, what it weighs. So a B2 is very, very, very good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a true diploma itself. And by the way, because I guess some people would ask, Is B2 difficult? Do you have any tips, any advice for people to make sure when they take the exam to pass?
To a few people, to students who study French, B2 is not a joking level. So when you have to be serious, you have to be curious, you have to watch YouTube, you have to read. You have to read at night to achieve that level. Really, you have to read, no jokes. You have to read. You read, you see examples from YouTube, you write, you practice always. You practice writing a formal letter. You practice writing an article, maybe to put in news. You have to read the news. You have to listen you have to listen to news in French. So you have to practice. You practice repeatedly, and then at the end you can have it. But if you do less, then B2 level is not for lazy people. You have to really work hard to get a B2.
I love how you put it. This is not a joke. It's actually work, indeed. Thank you so much, Gerevazio. Merci beaucoup.
Merci à vous, madame.
Now I'm turning to Robert. Robert, hello, bonjour.
Hello.
So, Robert, thank you for being here too. Could you introduce yourself to the listeners?
Yes, thank you for inviting me here too. My name is Gerevazio and Robert. I'm from Congo. I've taken 8 years in Kampala. Now the work I'm doing, I work as a gardener at a certain French, where at the same time I work as a driver.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you. And in the past years that you were in Uganda, what other occupations did you have?
It's many. It's many of them. I've done different things. Where there is being a cleaner, I worked as a cleaner at a French school. Then after that, I worked as a boarder. I was a border man in town. Yeah, those are the most one of the most things I've done.
Okay. And of course, since you do speak French, it makes sense that you are working near Francophone or French people even. So I think the listeners might wonder, why did someone from Congo take the DELF? To give some context, you passed DELF B2 as well.
Yes.
Which is not easy, so good job.
Thank you.
And so what was the reason? Why did you choose to take DELF B2?
First of all, I never knew that I can take the DELF B2 in Uganda because I never knew that it exists. So one time, I was with my boss, we are talking. As he knew that I was passionate in languages, he advised me to go to Alliance Française. I never knew that Alliance Française was there. I didn't know anything. So after when he told me, I went to Alliance Française. What I got at Alliance Française surprised me. It was so good. I got many opportunities at Alliance Française. Then after, due to what I got at Alliance Française, I decided to pass, to get a course and pass my DELF BD.
The B2, which is
Yes.
B2.
B2,
Exactly,
yes, sorry.
exactly. And so, now that you have the diploma, the B2, DELF
Yes.
B2, what other perspectives do you have? What a bonus in your life, whether personal or professional, does it give?
I have both personal and professional. Professionally, my working system will change. That one I'm sure. Because now I speak two most useful languages in the whole world. So I speak English, so now I speak even French, which is very good. And now I have my B2 diploma. I'm able to speak with anyone in the whole world. So it's a big opportunity for me, and it can be a big opportunity for everyone who will pass the B2. Like, for example, I'm now able to go and require a job in any international company. For example, like Total Energies, Sogea, UN, and UNICEF as well. They need people who speak different languages. There are many, even embassies like Belgium embassy, French embassy, even American embassy as well. They have official languages, English and French. So I have many opportunities in my future.
And it's true that some people might think that you did speak French before you took the diploma.
Yes.
But the diploma is what allows you to go somewhere and prove it, because you can say, I speak French, but if you don't have a document to say, to attest of your level, how are you going to prove it, right? So I guess now that you have the diploma, it's for sure, you have it and you can prove it.
Yeah, yes, it's true. It is important to have something which is confirming that you are the right person. Like before, I had done my studies in Congo, but I didn't have a diploma because I didn't finish. But right now, I've finished. So before, I could tell people that I can speak French, but when they ask that, do you have anything talking about it? I couldn't have any question, which means I was not even able to go and request a job because I had no papers. But now I have my papers, I have my DELF B2. I'm now able, no fear, I can go anywhere in the whole world when I'm free with my DELF B2, because it confirms that I'm the right person.
And so, what could you say to someone that is, let's say, preparing for DELF B2 right now? What advice would you give to someone so they can succeed and pass?
They have to practice it each and every time they have a chance. For example, when students are together, it's not good to use their mother tongue or maybe English. It's better to use the language that they are learning. They talk in French so that they can correct themselves where they make mistakes. Then it's someone who is taking the DELF is supposed to read too much books and poems. It's very important. And also to watch some movie clips in French. It helps so much. That's the advice I can give.
Yes, I agree. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So as you heard, the DELF brings career and mobility opportunities, and you don't need to go up to B2 actually, because those guys spoke about DELF B2 that they got. But B1 is already very interesting for many employers, such as the UN, but way more. And then DELF A1 and A2, why they're interesting is because they prepare you for the future exams. Usually there's a higher passing rates, higher success rates for B1, B2, and more for people who even in the past took DELF A1 and A2, because then you're more familiar with the process and you make sure to pass. I like how our two guests spoke about how you need to be committed, you need to be serious, you need to practice a lot, in order to make sure to pass. But I would say that for TEF and TCF, I suggest that many people do that. They book preparation classes with teachers. So it's classes that are specific to train you specifically, because our teachers are jury for the TEF or TCF at Alliance Française. So they know. That way you can be sure that you're familiar with what is expected during the exam, and therefore you have higher chances to succeed. Now for DELF and DALF, I recommend the same, especially for people who are taking the DELF B2 or DALF C1 and C2, because those are academic exams. You don't need to only have a good level in French, you also need to know the methodology of the exam. And by the way, it's usually easier for students of Alliance Française who learned French with us, because there are many throughout the courses, many informal assessments, and they're based on previous DELF papers. So that way people are used to the DELF format and what is expected in order to succeed. And finally, we have resources in our resource center that you can have access to if you become a member. For more information on dates, fees, and more, if you're interested, you can visit our website, afkampala.org, or reach out to reception@afkampala.org. In the next episode, you'll hear more about our school competition that involves the DELF diploma. Goodbye, and thanks for listening.